Tonight, our debate focuses on Ward 1. For those of you who may not be familiar with the boundaries or the characteristics of Ward 1, we have a video introduction that we'd like you to see.
Riverside's Ward 1 has traditionally been the downtown ward, but changes in recent years now stretch its boundaries eastward to the area near UCR and south through the Wood Streets. Among its notable features are landmark structures such as the Mission Inn and Fox Theater, the historic neighborhoods that surround the downtown, Riverside Community Hospital, the many businesses in the Hunter Park area, Riverside Community College, and the Justice Center, the Inland Empire's largest concentration of courts.
We are very fortunate tonight to have as our moderator Erin OToole from the Inland Empire's own public broadcast station, KVCR, where she has been a producer and on-air host since 2003. Many of you are familiar with Erin from her Morning Edition show, which includes the local broadcast of the National Public Radio. Thank you, Erin, for agreeing to host this year's Raincross debates. And with that, I'd like to turn the show over to you.
All right. Thank you so much, Ted. It's such a pleasure to be here. You know, much of our programming at KVCR is aimed at doing exactly what we are hoping to accomplish here tonight, and that is to provide you, the citizens of this region, with both information and insight on the issues that affect your lives. It is said that all politics are local, and if that is true, perhaps this debate and the 3 others sponsored by Raincross can help the voters decide who should be entrusted with the reins of government in Riverside. I'd like to begin tonight by introducing our distinguished panel of questioners. We're pleased that our partner in these debates, the Riverside Press Enterprise, and its sister publication, La Prensa, are both represented on the panel. First, from the Press Enterprise, is its editorial page editor, Gail Hammonds, who directs the opinion team at the newspaper and is responsible for the content of the daily and Sunday opinion sections. Thank you, Gail. Next is Orlando Ramirez, who is the editor of the Spanish language newspaper La Prensa, a post he's held for 3 years. Previous to this, he served on the Press Enterprise editorial board. And our third panelist for the Ward 1 debate is Jack Clark Jr., who is a partner in the law firm of Best and Krieger. Mr. Clark is well known in Riverside for his involvement in many civic activities and community groups. Thank you all for joining us for the Raincross debates. I'd like to now turn our attention to the candidates themselves, those you're here to see. As we said earlier, tonight we're featuring the race in Ward 1. Now, in the general election for this ward held earlier this year, no candidate received the requisite 50% plus 1 of the votes cast. Consequently, the 2 top vote getters are now facing each other in a runoff election. These candidates are the incumbent in Ward 1, Dom Betro. He's completing his first term as a city council member. Mr. Betro has served as president of the Family Services Association since 1985 and has been an instructor of management at UCR since 1989. Also running for the Ward 1 seat is Mike Gardner. Mr. Gardner is retired after 23 years with Southern California Edison, where he was involved in environmental planning and public affairs. He has served on Riverside's Community Police Review Commission also. Thanks to both of you for agreeing to participate in these debates. All right, and now what I'd like to do is turn to a few housekeeping matters. That means rules. We'll begin in a moment with the candidates' 2-minute introductory statements. Afterward, for the panelist questions, each candidate will have 90 seconds to respond, and each will be accorded 30 seconds to offer a rebuttal or amplification of his or her previous remarks. As moderator, it's within my purview to invite a panelist to follow up on a question or ask a candidate to focus their answer more closely on the question being asked. And as you've no doubt heard moderators say at other televised debates, we respectfully ask our audience members to restrain their applause for either of the candidates. You'll only be reducing the time available to them for answering the panel's questions. All right, now with that, I'd like to ask Dom Betro to open with his opening statement, and you have 2 minutes.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. I'm happy to stand before you today for re-election as your Ward 1 councilman. It has been 4 very eventful years since I took office. After serving in the nonprofit human service sector for all of my life, it has been a privilege to work to improve the quality of life for my neighbors and fellow citizens of the city of Riverside. And I have worked hard and fast during the past 4 years on issues big and small to bring results, as in projects and services, to Ward 1. Results such as championing a $1 million homeless shelter and access services, reducing the number of homeless on the street, and reclaiming Fairmont Park for family events and civic festivals. Reducing crime in Ward 1 to an all-time low. Closing down policing over 30 illegal group homes. Ensuring the public safety with 2 new fire stations for the ward. Getting 4 ward railroad grade separations jump-started. Repairing over 35 miles of streets, curbs, and gutters. Improving every park in Ward 1, over $50 million in projects. Adding 100 new acres of parkland along the way while acquiring and preserving hundreds of acres of land along the Santa Ana River. Also extending our park enhancement efforts to Mount Rubidoux and the historic Evergreen Cemetery public improvements. As chair of the Development and Redevelopment Agency, I have worked to bring over 24,000 jobs to our city, $500 million in private investment in downtown, $100 million in public projects, including expanding the convention center, expanding and beautifying the library and museum, restoring the Fox Theater to its former glory while preserving our historic buildings such as the Rouse and Imperial Hardware Building. 4 years ago, you, the citizens of Ward 1, voted for change. You voted to put an end to decades of endless rhetoric, inaction, and indecision. You voted to get results. Together we are making great progress, but there is still much to do. It is an exciting time, a time to celebrate the past and embrace the future, a time for the political courage to get things done, a time for results, not rhetoric.
All right, thank you, Mr. Betro. Mr. Gardner, you have 2 minutes for your opening statement.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us this evening. I'm running because I want to return a sense of openness and trust to City Hall. Our council has become remote, dictatorial, and paternalistic. Citizens feel they are not listened to and that their opinion is not wanted. I'm running because I think it is wrong for the city to use the threat of eminent domain to take private property from one owner and give it to another. Receiving an offer letter from the city that says eminent domain will be used if a sale agreement is not reached is a little like having the district attorney offer a choice between life imprisonment and the death penalty. Neither is a very attractive option if you haven't done anything wrong. I will not vote to use eminent domain to take your property for a non-governmental use. I'm running because I believe we need jobs for the people who already live here more than we need housing for people to commute to Los Angeles and Orange counties. We should devote our little remaining developable land to projects that are job intensive rather than the land intensive, job poor warehousing that we are currently building in much of the city. I'm running because earlier this year, the grand jury found that the incumbent breached his fiduciary duty when, as a member of the Riverside County Habitat Conservation Agency, he voted to sell land at a price far below market value. He didn't even ask for an independent appraisal of the land value. He used the buyer's appraisal. I'm running because the incumbent tried to sell the 42-acre Tekeskeet Park property to raise money for the Riverside Renaissance, and he did take the entire Market Street frontage of Fairmont Park away from the park department. I'm running because no one on the council had the foresight to ask what a summer bill might look like under the new utility rate structure it adopted. No one should have been surprised that summer bills would double and triple. We should have done the math and known that would be the result of the rate structure before it was adopted. I would have asked that question. You deserve a council member who cares what the citizens think, whose vision of Riverside does not look like Orange County, and who will get it right the first time.
All right. How about a little round of applause for both candidates? Okay.